Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Sulaiman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, breaker of the seven seals. And this is Black Alert. Black Alert coming to you from the Fire Zone. Black Alert. Sisters and brothers, our subject today is the Negrobot. The Negrobot. See, this is a no bullshit zone. See, stop the bullshit. Brothers and sisters, since the day you arrived on the shores of America, you've been fed a banquet, a buffet of bullshit from day one up until now. And bullshit just increases. From the day you stepped on this continent 500 years ago until now, you've been fed a steady buffet of bullshit. Unadulterated bullshit. And you got so used to eating it that now you put seasoning on it and just gobble it down. See, they got used to it. It's like, you know, see those homeless people out there, some of them don't take baths and stuff like that. They're walking around homeless for long periods of time. And they have great odors. But, you know, you get used to it, and then you don't even smell odor anymore. You get used to it. So you don't smell it anymore because your nose adjusts. And your nose and taste has adjusted to the bullshit. So now they feed it to you, and you don't have any problems with it. Yeah, give me some more bullshit. It's like chitlins, right? They fed it to you, and now you could go buy it. And they call it shitlins. That's what they called it back then. They called it shitlins. And when they couldn't, they figured, well, these Negroes, man, they ain't gonna, they ain't that dumb. I mean, they wouldn't buy something called shitlins. So we take the S off and put a C there. Chitlins. But it is shitlins. That's exactly what it is. Back there, they called it shitlins. That's exactly what they called it. It's just like these names you got. See, a steady course of bullshit. So are you proud walking around with these names, Richardson and Jefferson and Jackson and Washington? And you call them names. It wasn't names, brothers and sisters. They were brands. They were not names. They were brands. They were a sign of ownership, like you brand your cattle, because you was no more than cattle to them. So they was brands. So if you was owned by James Jackson, then and your name was Jamie, then you was Jamie Jackson. And they trade you to Eric Anderson, then you became Jamie Anderson. Those were not names; they were brands. Show who owned you. And when you walk around those names proudly right now, you're saying they still own you. And the names you have right now is just identifies the last slave master you had before they so-called freed you. And they didn't free you, brothers and sisters. They didn't need you. See, that was it. They didn't free you. They didn't need you. They went from they need you during the agricultural revolution. That means they had people out there and pick stuff, you know, manually. But when they went to the Industrial Revolution, transition to the Industrial Revolution, they didn't know what to do with you. See? And you was a problem. You see? And so the slave master, when he trained you up to do the industrial jobs, and then send you up north or wherever, not just up north, because when you say up north, you kind of think that north was free. North wasn't free. I mean, what's the name of Harriet Tubman? She was a slave in New York. They won't tell you that. They had slaves all over the country. Wall Street was a slave trading zone. That's why they called it. That was called the name back then, Wall Street, because they lined all the slaves up along the wall. See, so you think, oh, the North was. That's it. One thing to say about the North here. See, the North controlled both houses of Congress, Senate and Representative, for almost the whole time since 1777, and most time even the presidency. So if the North didn't want slavery, and they were so much for black people and everything else, they could have just voted out. They had to go to war. They could just vote it out. See, they didn't. get back to, they didn't need you. They went to the Industrial Revolution, and the slave master was sending you to the factories to train you up, send you to the factories. And if the factory was paying $5 an hour, he would only charge $1 an hour because you wasn't getting the money. He was getting back to him. And so the white folks could not compete. They couldn't compete with slave labor. And they tried to stop it. And they tried to make a deal, said, okay, you do it in the eastern states, the new states that we, and we new states like, going back, I guess maybe Alabama, maybe going west, Texas and Arizona, places like, no, you can't do it back there. See, but the South said, no, states right, we have slave anywhere we want to. See, that's what the war was about. It wasn't about you. Nixon, read it, brothers and sisters. Can you read? This information is available if you go look at it. If you listen to what preacher telling you and what master telling you, they're gonna tell you what they want to. But this information is already available if you just go check it out. Lincoln didn't want to free you. He had no intention of freeing you. That wasn't his purpose. He was trying to keep the Union together because they wanted to divide on economic issues, not slavery. See, slavery was old hat. See, because they was moving from the agricultural revolution to the industrial revolution. See, where they had machines and heard about the cotton gin machines and things like that there, right? And white folks wanted those jobs. You see, and they was competing against you, slave labor, and they got angry about it. And that's what the war was all about. They freed you because they no longer needed you. See, but Nixon said he wanted to send you back to Africa. He said just couldn't afford it. A lot of blacks did go back to Africa, Liberia and stuff like that. But he wanted to send you all back. He said you wasn't his equal. He didn't want to be bothered with you. He wanted to get rid of you. He didn't want to keep you here. He said it'd be a problem keeping you here. These are his words. See? But you think, oh, he's a great liberator. He loved. No, he didn't. Did they give you anything after they threw in a ditch? And demons behind you. They're slave master children. They threw you in a ditch and they're behind you. So now you play with them because they're so now slave master, he looks like you and walk like him, but he ain't you. But they was thrown in a ditch with you because they was told, because they as master, see, they was in the house with master. See, they was the house Negroes, so to speak, right? And master, you ain't gonna live off us. We don't need those no more. We throw them out of the way. You can live off of them if you want to, but you ain't living off of us. And that's exactly what's been going on. You got them living off of us, right? See? They come in and they come in, they want their vote, right? They want you to buy their goods and everything else, buy their bullshit. They so-called role models, you see them on TV. The ones you see, they still in master's house, but they're living off of you. Because master, you ain't living off of them. So you ain't living off of us, you can live off of them. And you got to get, you better get up with this demon situation, brothers and sisters, because you're being plagued with it. Read Mark, you're being plagued with it, you don't realize it. And I'm exposing them. Anyway. So they didn't need you, because after they so-called freed you, what did they give you? Did they give you the 40 acres and a mule? Never. You never got any of that. You got nothing. You was thrown in a ditch, and slave master children was thrown in a ditch behind you. So this black-faced children was thrown in a ditch behind you to be parasites to live off of you. That's what happened. And then they went straight right to work to set up trade guilds, apprenticeships, unions. They keep you out to make sure you never got in there and do those jobs. They lock you out. And all the skills that black folks did have at that time, they were all lost. That's a fact. This is no bullshit zone. You can check everything I said out. See, stop the bullshit. They freed you because they no longer need you. They didn't need you. They freed you because they didn't need you. Because they went to the Industrial Revolution. See? They got machines and everything to do that stuff now. They don't need you. And that's where we get to modern times, so-called modern times. See? Because now they're going to AI revolution and they don't need you anymore. Right? They need you, they didn't, but let me rephrase that. Right? Because they already don't need you. right? But they don't want you because what are they going to do with you? They got robots. They're making robots to do everything. So what are they going to do? They're putting this idea out there, and you go for it. Well, free money. See, when they have come to robots, they don't give you money to live. Do you believe that? See, that's what I'm saying. You're buying the bullshit. Do you believe it's going to give you money when you have no job or nothing else? They did it. Welfare, right? They just gave you money. And Bill Clinton came to stop that. See? They just gave you money. See? But now they're in debt and everything, and they want you gone. They want you gone. Because they're going to robot, right? They're going robot. See, they call them not just robot, but then the cyborg, and that's even that's even more fundamental. See, because they're trying to change the whole reality, the whole creation. They're trying to come in with a cyborg. You know what a cyborg is? It's a mechanical body with a biological brain. See, because that's the problem they're having. They're at war. They're at war with our biological creation. It's killing them. These viruses, cancer. They've been at war with it. They've been at war with it since their creation. Because they're adverse to this creation. See, they can only survive this creation 6,000 years. Then the creation will just destroy them. And that's what you're seeing right now. See? They're at war with the creation. So you ask yourself, if you want to understand that, things start falling into place. They flirting with nuclear war. Why are they flirting with nuclear war? Are they insane? Why are they flirting with nuclear war? See, because they're going 24/7. If you go and start checking out, they've achieved a lot of these things. You got Elon Musk. He want to put this chip in your brain. They use our creativity to arrive at a certain point. You see it? That on the bottom left there, on the middle, on the bottom right. That's a cyborg. That's a cyborg. You see? That means that's a human body. I mean, that's a mechanical body with a human brain. Theoretically, it can live forever because the brain is not like the rest of the body. It doesn't change every 7 years. Keep like the human body is different. And they say theoretically it can just live forever. So they put that in a mechanical body because the body's the one that ages, so to speak, right? And so they put a mechanical body, they can just change the components. They need the leg wears out, they put another one in, the heart, because all of it's mechanical. So theoretically it can live forever. And then the cancer and all this stuff is cured because they don't have any biological problems anymore. All they gotta do is protect the brain, period. If they can protect the brain in that casing, right, then that's all they have to do. Because the rest of the body is immune to all kinds of the biological creation. So therefore, they don't need it anymore. See, so if they have a nuclear war, it wouldn't affect them. If they achieve that, it would not affect them. You see, because they got all this AI stuff, right? They can put implants in your brain where this earth might be looking barren, right? It might look barren, but they can make it they can make it look like they want to make it look. Because they in this mechanical body now. It's electromechanical body. They use all kinds of things. They can use time distortion. They can make themselves look like they was in the Bahamas somewhere for 20 years. And it only be 5 minutes. Flip a switch. You see, it's time distortion. They make movies about it. You see, and they could simulate the intimacy. Just press a button. It's like the real thing. I mean, be better than the real thing. They'll work on this stuff, and they're a lot further ahead than you know. And once they achieve it, see, just the robot parts is enough to get rid of you. But they've achieved that. They not only get rid of you, but they get rid of this whole creation, which you cannot live in. Because if they have a nuclear war, they destroy this, and they got those mechanical, biological, electronic mechanical bodies that can survive it, that would be immune to radiation, all that kind of stuff. You understand? And you would not be able to survive in that environment. Radiation and no food and nothing. They make it. They'll make it their own food now. They manufacture food chemically. They don't even raise the food anymore. They can just mechanically. They can just go in and chemicals and produce meat and stuff. They're doing it right now. Have you been keeping up with this stuff, brothers and sisters? They were much far ahead than you probably know, because you don't keep up with this stuff. And they fast. They're trying to achieve that. And you hear them talking about Gates and all that. They got to get rid of population, all that kind of stuff. They don't need you. So they got to give you a check. Like I said, first of all, if they get rid of biological, then you won't survive anyway. But besides that, getting to that point, they don't need you. You've been at Walmart lately. They tell you that in a couple of years, they won't need anybody at Burger King and McDonald's, all those places, because they're going to totally automate it. They're going to totally automate it. See? You've been to Walmart lately? See? They're on the way of automating that totally. First of all, you check your own self out, but pretty soon, right? They won't need that at all, because like they're doing this with I think is it FedEx is doing it? No, it's Amazon, right? Where you go in the store and you get anything you want, then you just walk in, walk out. Nobody's there, right? Or nobody's there. You see, and it's, they can read somehow they can electronically read your card, which is even in your pocket. But they won't need you. They threw you when they got freed you because they didn't need you, and they tell you they did it for slavery. It was not. This is no bullshit zone, brothers and sisters. Stop the bullshit. Just go and check it out for yourself. Stop taking people's words. Stop taking Farrakhan's words. Stop taking the preacher's word. Don't take anybody's word. Read for yourself. They freed you because they no longer needed you. That's why they freed you. And right now, I've been telling you, they plan on wiping you out. See? So I told you, the plan now is to get rid of you. See? The plan after abomination desolation, right? That's a whole new, they're getting ready for a whole different reason. But right now, they plan on just eradicating you right now. The Bible tells you that. The scriptures tell you that. If you understand it, they plan to eradicate you right now. Eradicate you. See? And the only thing that's stopping them, right, is that Master Muhammad moves into expose their plan before they're ready. See? He's going to give you a heads up. Because they plan on doing this without you even knowing it. See, right now, they make you think they love you. I mean, if you're going to trap somebody, first you make it look like you like them, that you love them. See, until they fall in the trap and it's too late. Now, that's what the mafia boys do, right? They send somebody that you love, that you like, a family member, somebody's close to you. And you sitting around there cutting, talking to bull, and ran around, talking, reminiscing, talking about good times, everything else. See? And this ain't no bam, you pull out a gun and blow your head off. You never saw it coming. It says, do you know when they say let us deal shrewdly with them? That means deal with them in a way they won't see it coming. And I'm trying to tell you, that's their plan right now to eradicate you because they don't need you anymore. Well, I said to stop needing you back then, but they don't want you anymore because you're a burden. They talk about depopulating the planet, and who you think America's going to depopulate with first? Who do you think they're going to populate first? You. Why do you think they bring somebody across the border? Because they're trying to move up their game. See, because the point is they still got some jobs that they need some manual labor. See, so they bring them across the border. So when they get rid of you, they still have that taken care of, but eventually they won't need any them either. So they're trying to step up their game, move along, move faster. That's why they letting those people across the border like that. When those people getting across, why are they letting those people across the border like that? I mean, they gotta have jobs, right? Well, whose jobs you think they're gonna be taking? Whose jobs you think they're gonna be taking? They already got an abortion program, 22 million strong so far. 22 million in Marcus Single's slaughterhouses, Planned Parenthood slaughterhouses. And that right there tells you they're trying to eradicate you. Because that's the whole purpose of Planned Parenthood. Don't you read them? Look up, you saw how I said dumb these Negroes are? The so-called leaders, so-called politicians, they're demons. I forgot which one it was, but they presented one of them with the Margaret Singer Award. That's like giving a Jew a Hitler Award, because she was open. She hated black people. She said she hated, called them niggers. She said they was like weeds, and she set up Planned Parenthood. Look up who set up. Go and Google it. Look who set up Planned Parenthood. She did. She was an active card carrying KKK. Right? They got pictures of her at their rallies, and her idea was to eradicate black folks, do abortion. She's going to use the preachers, these demon preachers, the one that you rely on to convince you, right, to abort your children. And they've done 22 million already and counting. 22 million. See, and all together is 34 million black folks in America now, and there are 22 million dead. And only of 34, only 17 are original, because 17 of them are master's children. And this Negro set the Margaret Singer Award. See, these people are demons, and you following after them, and they're leading you to death. See, Negrobot. That's why they're trying to plan to get rid of you right now, because they don't need you anymore. I keep saying they don't need you anymore. They don't want you anymore. They already stopped needing you in the Industrial Revolution. That's why they freed you, because they no longer needed you. They didn't need you, so they freed you. No need, so they freed you. That's what they did. It wasn't anything about loving you, because they didn't give anything. They didn't do anything for you, and then rather so-called freed you, right? See, you had the dichotomy. You had the demons. They want to stay back and be sharecroppers, and the original people, they got out of town. They moved as far as way they could. They went up to the north. They thought they was safer in cities, but they weren't. Then they had Jim Crow follow you. They didn't care about you. They went right after you. Right after they so-called freed you, because you're still not free. You're still in on master's plantation. America's master's plantation. You obey his laws. They told you. Your so-called freedom was even conditional. It's right in there in an amendment, because it depends on you. If you didn't obey the law, then if you broke their law in any way, right, then they could put you right back in prison, back in slavery mode, chain slavery mode, which is prisons. See? You're still slavery, and they're trying to convince you, oh no, you're not slavery here. You got good. I mean, America loves you, right? You got to wave the flag and love that, and be a good Christian and love Master, right? And they making progress, and that always gets me. That always gets me. I said, do you pay attention to any of these words? Do you try to analyze anything they say? What does they mean by making progress? They make progress. That means you haven't got there yet. That means you're coming from someplace. Or what place are you coming from that you're making progress from? So, in other words, if you're making progress on the way you're dealing with us, that means you're admitting that you used to deal with us harpily. And now you're making progress trying to get better. That means you haven't got there yet. So if they're such good people, why they got to make progress to do good? Why you got to fight and march and everything else to make them do good if they're such good people? We're making progress. That's like telling a woman that you've been raping, right, 24/7. Okay, I was raping you 24/7. Now I'm just raping you twice a week. Isn't that progress? Shouldn't you be happy because thank you, you're so good. We making progress. I'm just letting you keep raping because we making progress. So eventually, one day you only rape me once a day, and that's what you're saying. See, well, y'all still treating us bad, but y'all making progress. You're not treating us so much bad. Don't you analyze these words? They think they know you stupid. That's why I talk to you that way. I talk to a dog. I'm gonna put you down. The dog is wagging his tail. You're getting ready to go be put to sleep. Just wagging his tail and jumping up and down, licking his master's face. And they talk to you the same way because they know you're stupid. They made you stupid, and they know you. And now they've been feeding you bullshit for 500 years, and now you're so used to it that you just eat it up. put season on it, eat up. Give me some more bullshit. Like it's chillings. Why would you eat that shit? Because that's what it is. And you know what it is. You know? I mean, I was a kid, my family cooked them. You see the shit floating on the sink, on the water. You know, how anybody's chillings because they gotta clean up for me. You can't clean shit. You're eating shit. See? And they call it soul food. That's not black people food. They got soul food. That stuff they give you is not black people food. It's not black culture. It's so-called Black Friday. It ain't about black people. It's about demons. You haven't seen any black culture since you've been here. Soul food. You got the children walking around with pants hanging down and braids in their hair. And that's probably black culture. Have you go in Africa, you see anything look like that? You see anything close like that over there? They feeding you a bowl full, buffets of bullshit, and you just keep buying it. And I said, stop the bullshit. See, that's what it is. Stop the bullshit. No bullshit zone. They're selling it to you, and you keep buying. Like they say, if people buy shit, why not sell it? And you buying it, so they're selling it. See? The proper vision we have is at top. That right on top. That's our vision. But that's not their vision. Their vision is the one on the bottom there. And that vision does not include us. And they're moving fast. Because why are they flirting with nuclear war? You say, are they saying? If they get in a war with Russia, that's the end of the biological creation. You think if they beat Russia got nuclear weapons, they say, okay, you beat us, we're just going to lay down and we're not going to do anything? No. You heard dead hand? See? Most people know about that. I knew something about it, then they got this thing on True News they can talk about it lately, like the dead hand. See? Russia's got a dead hand. America has the same thing too. Europe has the same thing too. The point is, if they got these computers and they have them in a special place and they constantly send them signals from different aspects of society, and that computer stops getting information, that means America's been destroyed. That means Russia's been destroyed. Or whatever. And so what happens is they unleash hell, they unleash all their nuclear weapons, just destroy everything else, the whole planet. They say, we've been destroyed. It's called a dead hand. If you kill us, then we're going to make sure nobody survives. This is the way they play. This is stuff they're doing. And you sitting around watching NFL, NBA, and your whole destiny is in their hands. And it's all about you. See? They don't want you anymore. They plan on eradicating you because the only thing they can do is just keep giving you money. Because you ain't work anywhere. Don't you realize that they already have it? You're not going to get these jobs. You're not going to be a taxi driver. You're not going to be those things anymore because they're automating driverless cars. They already have driverless trucks on the road. Driverless trucks, 18-wheelers. They got them on the road right now. They said in 5 or 10 years, everything's be driverless, even cars. So you're not going to be putting maintenance on cars anymore either. Because the car goes into, it do self-diagnostics. And while you sleep, it takes itself over to some place wherever it needs to take. And some robot takes and change. See, they make the parts in such a way, they can just pull a part out and put another part in. That's where they be making them. So it do self-diagnostics, goes in, you don't even know it. Then you got to bill, because the car that's on its own. That's assuming you still around. If they even need cars anymore. So they tell you don't need cars anymore because polluting the atmosphere. They want to eradicate you. They're saying that. They got to cut the population down because they can't afford it anymore. And they don't need the population because they don't need workers anymore. They just don't need workers anymore. They got robots to do almost everything they need done. So why they need you? Why do they keep feeding you and giving you money? For what? Why? You don't understand that? Is that not simple enough? Or they wouldn't. They did to the Indians. They did to you. Why you let these demons tell? Oh, they wouldn't do something like that. They did it. They was merciless. For 40 years, they was merciless. What did you do? That's what they did to Indians, didn't they? Didn't they just give them smallpox blankets and openly genocide? Didn't they do that to them? But they won't do it to you. They already showed their nature. They tipped their hand, their nature. Some of you paralyzed with fear that you don't want. You know, it's like somehow they. I saw this thing on whatever the channel is, the Wild, Animal Channel, whatever, a long time ago. And this lion is taking down this zebra, took him down. So now he's eating on the zebra. The zebra's still alive. He's eating on the zebra's behind. He's eating, but the zebra's still alive. And every now and then the zebra raised his head, and the lion was like, rah! Then the zebra lay his head back down, and the lion eating on him. That's where you are, brothers and sisters. That's what they got you in. I looked at it, I said, that's amazing. That's amazing. The lion just roared and leave the leg. He's obviously hurting them. He's getting his ass eaten up, and the lion just roared. Instead of him he just lays his head back down, let the lion eat him up. And that's the condition you're in. See, they're telling you to come out of here. See, but the only thing is you got a God that's going to rescue your ass. Because if it wasn't, you'll be lost. See, it says no soul will be left alive. Those days wasn't shortened. Master Muhammad's going to shorten those days because he's going to tip their hand. See, because they're out to eradicate you totally. And they're very close to completing that plan. And you don't see it coming. Because just do the math. They don't want you here anymore. They can't afford you in here anymore. You're not producing anything. And like I said, that's why they bring these people across the border. If any jobs, menial jobs left, they're going to have it. All your industrial jobs going to go overseas. All your AI jobs are getting to the Indians. They don't need you. They don't want you. I keep saying need. They stopped needing you a 100 years ago. They don't want you here anymore. You're a burden to them. See? I mean, the Indians, they can go back to India. The Mexicans, they can go back to Mexico. But you, see, and they ain't sending you back to Africa. They can't afford it. Plus, the Africans don't want you. You get on one back there. They don't want you there. They despise you because you're making the whole black people in the whole black nation and all the black people in the world look bad. With Martin Lawrence and Chris Tucker and all these playing, acting like fools all over, and women shaking their ass with no clothes on, right? With G-string and but big as a moon and Johnny and some nigga got his nose all up on my crack and all this kind of stuff, right? And do you see African movies doing that kind of stuff? Do you see movies come out there doing it? They don't. So you make them look bad. You think they want you? They don't want you. See, you need to understand the angel because Obama, he signed off on getting rid of your ass. You don't even understand that one because he's not us. He's one of the Africans. Did he do anything for you? Anything at all or nothing? All he do is give you a bunch of lip about you need to atone and all this stuff. Same old crap that you hear from FRRED. He's a demon. Obama ain't no demon. He is African. His mother was Caucasian, but he's African. He ain't one of us. He didn't go through this, what we went through. And he give a damn about you. And you don't understand, but you got your NFL and NBA, and you're sitting around waiting until pretty soon, they'll be gathering you up and getting rid of you. Who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop America from doing it? See? Because already, they're setting the predicate. See? Because nobody wants you anymore. Oh man, everybody, look, these niggas with CRT, Black Lives Matter. They're letting that go. Because they're making the people hate you more and more and more, right? So therefore, when they get ready to get you, there's nobody gonna be in opposition, man. Yeah, get rid. We tired of them niggas. We're tired of them. Get rid of them. You don't understand what's going on. And I'm trying to tell you. It's telling you, let's eradicate them. It says let's deal with them shrewdly, right? It said first they would try abortion, but it said they couldn't abort you fast enough because you was producing fast and they could abort you. So he said, throw them into the river. That has something to do with war. You need to understand the angel, know that one. right? But the ultimate object was just to get rid of you, just to get rid of you, eradicate you. They don't want you here anymore. They can't afford you anymore. You're not. They don't need you on these jobs. I keep saying need, right? They never did need you on these jobs. And these so-called leaders, demons, they sell you out every day. You know, when they said so-called civil rights, they came up with this affirmative action thing. And see, these so-called Negroes, you know, they're your so leaders. They so stupid. Some of them just outright sell you out. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Talking about Gus Savage. So remember that name, Gus Savage. What they do is that the affirmative action, that was supposed to be for minorities. So you thought, man, now black folks gonna start getting these jobs and everything else. See, because before then, right, you wasn't getting no job in corporate America. You wasn't getting that job in corporate America unless you was a janitor or something. Go and look at the type of jobs blacks got back then. You was a porter or something. See, so he said affirmative action. So the companies had to hire you. See, so they went sign this paper. Everybody, oh man, now we're gonna finally rise, man. You know, see, we know we ain't gonna overcome. We overcome now. We got the affirmative action. And before the ink was dry, they classified white women as minorities. And they got all those jobs. They in corporate America. Because before that, they was housewives. They wasn't in corporate America either. It was just white males in corporate America. See? It was just white males in corporate America. So they got all the jobs. And you got nothing. See? You got nothing. You see? And then they companies that did try to pretend they was, right? Then they had a little game because I was, you know, I was a contractor. A computer consultant contractor. So what they did is that they made laws that they had to hire so many black people. So then they had to get special laws. They had to hire so many minorities. But the white women got all the minority jobs. But then they had to make some special stuff where they had to bring some blacks in. So the way the companies got around that is that, okay, let me back this up again. See, I don't want to go a lot of history here. I explained this earlier. When there were new industry coming along online, like computers start coming online, right? Like business computers and stuff like that. They're using business around in the 70s, right? And so when America finds out that they got a new industry, and it's going to be an important industry, you know, a meaningful industry, right? They do demographics to find out what portion of the population be best, so they can train them up to be prepared for it, right? So they unexpectedly found out that black folks was the best computer people, programmers and software developers. They found out that black people were best at it, naturally. So Carter started this program. Now, don't forget about Gus Savage now. Carter started this program. See, because I went through the program. See, I went through the program after Elijah Muhammad departed, like in, I think 78, 78, 79, right? And IBM would be the instructors. They would instruct, and they would provide the equipment, right? And Urban League would provide the facilities and administrative part, right? And and recruiting, getting people into the program. See, and then the local industry was signed. They have industry sign on that they would guarantee that they would hire the top 10% that came out of the class, and they paid you. It was a 3-month class. See, and I went through it. And I came out first in the class. I made sure because with a name like Raheem, right? I knew I was going to have some issues, right? So what happened is that when Reagan came in, he scrapped that program. He knocked it down and got rid of it. And then they started promoting India, because that time you could find an Indian in this country. I had never seen one. The only one I saw was if you went over to New York, you went through Jersey City, and there was like a little village that you go through, a little street between New Jersey and between I guess Newark and Jersey City or whatever, or Jersey City and New York. I can't remember. This was a long time ago, right? And you see them. But you ain't see them any other place. See? And then they start promoting Indians as They made this movie, I'm Alive, #5, where this Indian, he was so smart, he made a computer that could talk and everything else. That's what they do, just like they do the Chinese and the Japanese. They do these pictures, they do kung fu and everything else. And so you scared to come, you won't get in a fight with those people because you think, man, they're kung fu. Because after they get the idea that these people are kung fu, they're martial artists. And 99% of them don't know anything about the martial arts. See, but the few, they do that and they promote that, so you think they like that. And same thing. So they made the Indians like they were supercomputer people when we were. So they started bringing them over. Then Reagan started bringing them over like in boatloads, train loads, ship loads. And now and that's history. Because they didn't want you to have those jobs for all kinds of reasons. See? But you're the best at it. Because I was the best at it. I was a genius at it, and I still am. You see. You understand what I'm saying? See? So, and for those you political people or industrial people, they call it SIC codes. Look it up, standard industrial codes. Because you have one. If you're anywhere working in America, you're in any industry, you have a code that you may not know what it is, but associated with the type of work you do. It's called standard industrial codes, SIC. See? So they got rid of that program. See? Because they didn't want you to have anything. And these Republicans is just as bad as the Democrats. They have a different strategy. Now let's talk about Gus Savage. Now Gus Savage, I'm pretty sure that's his name. He was a congressman out of Illinois. Excavate, that's the name I was trying to use on the excavate. I could say that name for nothing in the world. Excavate. They was going to excavate this land up in New York, right? Because remember, Wall Street, that's the guy's name because they lined slaves up against the wall to sell them. It was a selling place, and so that's where they got the name. So they was going to excavate the land not far from there because these Jews, they wanted to build some high-rise buildings or whatever, business, whatever, right? And when they start excavating, they found that this was a slave graveyard. See, up north. See, they keep telling you that this was only going to be south. Bullshit. Stop the bullshit. So he said, no, man, you can't do that. This is hollow ground. We want to memorialize this or something. This is where slaves were buried here. This is how you said, man, we invest a lot of money, man. We were building here, man. You slowing us down, man. We invest a lot of money and already set us up with we excavating the land and all that kind of stuff. And he persisted. He rallied Congress and everything else. They would stop it. Those Jews said, we're going to get you. We're going to get you. So when he ran for re-election, right, they primaried him with somebody, nobody knew who he was. He came out of nowhere, right? Some Negro that didn't look like he never brushed his teeth, right? And according to Savage, and you can Google this because I saw it. I don't know if they took it off there, but he's revealing this on the floor of Congress. That's how pissed off he got. You'll see in a minute. So what happened was that he investigated because this guy had a lot of money. And nobody knew where he came from. Like they pulled him out of a garbage can or something. He was a black guy. Black skin, black tone anyway. So he said he found there was a Jewish lobby that was backing the guy. So remember, the Jews told him they're going to get him. They were going to primary him, right? And knock him out of office. So he got pissed off. Gus Savage got pissed off. See? So what he did was he started spilling the beans on the Jewish lobby. See, because before he was in league with them, but when he got in the way of their money, that was a problem. See, because you see in a minute. You see, because he was selling us out. See, so you got this thing called it's like a pie chart. When you have your budget. So you say, well, I'm making $1,000 a week, right? So okay, I got a slice of my money go for this, slice of money go. You try to figure out where you're gonna put your money at. So you got this thing. And you only got $1,000 worth of slices, right? You see, so you got to put so much money on this, so much money on that, whatever, right? So America has a pie chart like that, right? For their budget, their yearly budget, and so say, okay, we got this much money, so we can send this money to this program, this money for this program, this money for this program, this money for program, and so what happens is that you got Foster Israel over there, right? And they'll say, man, we need more money than but there's no more money in the pie chart. They mean no money, then you offering us, so you give us $3 billion, we need another extra $1 billion. So what they do is they pay off these Negroes, these demons these skin tone, right? The kinfolk that you think represent you, they pay them off, right? To take and vote for less money for you, so false Israel get more money. This is a fact. He exposed that. See, he says he's paying off the other black people, right? The Jews are paying off these other black people, right? So they can get more money for them and less for the black people. He exposed. He was part of that. He was doing it too. See, but he got mad, so he exposed the whole thing. He exposed on the floor of Congress. Now I hear he's still around. See, but they were selling you out. These are demons. You think they're your friends. This was Black Caucus. They were selling you out. The Jews said, we need no more money. So they said, okay, we'll take it. We take it from, see, it's like, you make so much money and your neighbor's kids get sick and your kids are sick. So you say, well, you take less money from the money you need for your kid and give it to next door. Some of you would do that because you would prove that you're not, if they're white kids, you would prove, right, that you're not racist or whatever. See, some of us are really sick. See, because if you had a child out there and 2 children in a burning building, and you could only save one, and one of them was a white child, and one of them was your child, some of you would say the white child, so you could just prove that you wasn't prejudiced. So that's how rot in your mind. That's how much damage they've done to our people. Because we go out the way to prove, why you gonna be ain't racist? What's that got to do with you being racist? First of all, you got to understand what racist is. If you're protecting your family, that's not racist. White folks not racist because they protect themselves. What makes them racist is they come over and attack us because of race. That's what makes you racist. We attack another race because of race. That's what makes you racist. But if you look out for your own, if you looking out for your own people, that's not racist. That's intelligent. You mean you don't look out for your own family? You look out somebody else's family for yours because you do. Or you went, oh man, those Mexicans, we got rid of the Mexicans down the border. When last time you seen any Mexican stand up and say, oh, those poor black people, we got to help them? Show me any time you ever seen any Mexican do that. Anytime. In fact, you ever seen any Indian from India do it? You seen anybody from anywhere? They look up their own people. But you look at everybody else. Oh man, those poor Mexicans down there, those poor Indians, like our people. Woohoo. Negrobot. Stop the bullshit. Stop the bullshit. Right? See? We can go on and on with that, brothers and sisters. But that's the reason why they're trying to eradicate you right now. See? But right now, they got a problem. See? Because the thing is that this Abrahamic covenant business, see, because that was supposed to be squashed because that came out of Elijah Muhammad. See? And so once he departed, they said, we got to stop that. Not just America, but false Israel, because they stole our identity. They claim they see Abraham. Right? You got Ishmael over there, Arabs. They claiming that they claiming that they didn't see Abraham, but they saying they the ones that have rights to the land. When God gave the rights to Isaac, us, the son, Sarah's son. See, Ishmael was the oldest son, but he was a son by his maiden. But God said, no, the inheritance goes to Sarah's son, Isaac. See, because they are brothers, but now they become white. See, that's a whole nother story. That's why white folks call them desert niggers. Because they know they are brothers, they know our history. They don't want you to know. So everybody's on board with that. Everybody's on board with you not knowing anything, that things keep rolling, just like they're rolling right now. Because the Arabs are getting filthy rich selling our resources. False Israel's got filthy rich over there. They're on the planet. They're most rich by per capita and other people on the planet because they stole our identity. They're getting all that benefit and everything because they said, he who bless Israel, we bless. He who curse Israel, we curse. So they say, hey man, we got to bless Israel. We got to do everything we can to false Israel over there. And you're a problem that nobody wants to be bothered with. You're a problem for everybody because they're definitely not going to let you rise up. Because you rise up, then you change the whole world. Because if you rise up, right, you want to take your land back. Arabs don't want that. You will take your identity back. The Jews don't want that because if they're not the true Israel, they're not really Israel. They're not true seed Abraham. Who are they? They lose everything because they become a non-people because their whole identity is based on a lie. They become a non-people, right? And then the Arabs, they become homeless people because they're sitting on our land. See, if we take back who we are, these people lose big time. America lose because they got rich off our labor and our creativity. That's why they won't let us leave, right? See, and China no longer get all these jobs and everything. That's how they got powerful because they sent all those jobs over there because they didn't want you to have them. And same thing, India becoming powerful now off of AI because all the jobs that remember you must qualify for, they have. Don't you understand, brothers and sisters? See? Negrobot. See? Negrobot. Because that's what you've been. Since you've been here, Negrobot. But they don't need Negrobots anymore. They don't want Negrobots anymore. They don't want them anymore. They don't need them. They don't want them. They can't afford them. Because they keep telling you, oh man, we're going to, you said, O'Rourke guy, Beto O'Rourke, come on, we're going to give free money to people. Are you believe that? Do you really believe it's going to send you money and you're going to lay back and it's going to give you money, you got to do anything? They was doing welfare, but you could live off that anyway. The money they was giving for little welfare, that and food stamps, it was really humiliating. It wasn't much anyway. So you think they're gonna give you enough money so you can sit around in your BMW and a nice apartment and watching NBA and NFL on your flat screen? Then they give you enough money to do that all that. If they give you a check, man, it'd be just so you know, you can find you a little homeless lot someplace, and they don't want you around anymore. That's why they're trying to get rid of you. But when abomination of desolation comes, that's going to be a whole different reason. Because now the lie is destroyed. Master Muhammad has destroyed the lie that's false Israel over there, that's true, that they're true Israel, and they destroyed them. And so now you are, and then the lie is exposed. You see? But at the time, that's when they're going to try to wipe you out. But see, you get a warning now. See, because that's why it says when you see, that's a warning. When you see the abomination of desolation, flee. That's a warning. So you don't have no warning now. Because what their plan is, right, is eradicate you with no warning whatsoever. But Master Muhammad's going to give you a warning. See, by doing it that way, because before they execute their plan, that's why it says, before, if you read the sixth seal, right, it says the figs was, the wind blew and blew the figs before they was ready, before they was ripe. That means they wasn't ready. Their plan was executed. Yeah, it was getting close. But then the wind blew, and so the figs, right before they was ready, you got to understand, the angel understand that, but even without the angel, you get some idea what it's talking about. So their plan was to destroy you, but the point is, something happened and disposed them before they were ready. That gave you a chance to run. That's why I say flee, flee, flee. That's what that's all about. He said, if those days were not shortened, no soul will be left alive. They don't mean all the people on the planet. It means you. And Master Muhammad shortened those days by exposing them, forcing their hand, by taking down false Israel, right? And that means that you have to be the true seed of Abraham. And that's where they're going to move their schedule to get rid of you. The civilians are going to get rid of you because the government's planning on rid of you right now. The government is planning to get rid of you right now. See? But now you got the civilians involved. And that's going to help the government to some extent, because the thing is that those of you who do flee, if you don't flee fast enough, the government's going to round you up and tell you, because you have your own neighbors cutting your throat. Why do you think they tell you to flee so you can go back to your house to get your baby? Don't go back to your house to do anything. That means it ain't because the police, it ain't because the government, it's your next door neighbor. Because false Israel just been taken down, and now they realize that you are the true seed of Abraham, and they know what that means. That means they're not good people. That means they've been, because right now you was born to be slaves, just Ham. So now they was killing people's God. They was destroying God's people. And this ain't the promised land. That means they was genocidal maniacs. They're gonna make the understanding come to understand in a fraction of a second, nanosecond. And they know what that means. Because all the hell, because they catch, at that time, they're going to be at war with Russia. Because immediately after they get kicked out of the Middle East, right, false Israel goes down, so they got all these troubles. And the 9 plagues they're talking about, that's the war. Because they're hit with 9 more plagues. And so now they're going to be cutting your throat. That's why I'm telling you, flee. Don't look around. Don't do no cell phone. Don't text. Just go. See? And if those of you who wait around to that last minute, right, message, you're going to get rounded up by the government. Because they're going to be telling you the reason they do it for your protection. Because the civilian population, whites, is killing you. So we're going to round you up to protect you, put you in concentration camps to protect you from the brothers and sisters. This is what you're going to see in a few more days. So you might say, oh, that's crazy. Okay, you better think about it. See, you know, what happened in Germany, they thought that was crazy too, didn't they? See, until they started smelling the gas. See, when we were sitting over in Africa, minding our own business at peace, and all of a sudden you saw these white sails coming across, right? And this thing, you know, that was crazy too. When you was end up in chains and dragged over here in ships, defecating on yourself and everything else, and they raping all the women on the way. You thought that was crazy too, didn't you? That's what you see these people are capable of. And you still, I'm like, oh, I want to identify with them. Because some of you just paralyzed with fear. They show you what they're capable of. They said devil goes out to kill, steal, and destroy. Isn't it exactly what the Europeans did when they came out of their pit for 1,000 years? Isn't it exactly what they did? They stole this land, they killed off other residents, and destroyed us as a people. What the hell do you need to understand? Oh, Farrakhan, we're gonna redeem them. We're gonna correct them. The Bible says they cannot be. It says that none of them are righteous. No, not one. So God said He destroyed them all. That's what He said. No, He destroyed them all. He said He even made them. He didn't say the babies and nothing. Got rid of all of them. And the lessons tell you that Master Muhammad said the same thing. So Farrakhan, well, some of them ain't devils and all that kind of stuff. You better, brother, you've been so bullshit, and now you enjoying it. Just give me some more of that bullshit, man. You got him over there, man, right? I mean, how you fried it? Did you bake it? Right? Just give it to me raw. I had some medium raw bullshit. There's no bullshit zone here, bro. Everything I told you is actual fact. There's no conspiracy. See, now they try to destroy your history term, CRT. What the hell is a theory about what they did to us? There's no theory. It's a fact. But it's a theory, so it may not happen. What they did to us, you cannot even imagine, right? See, and don't tell me they didn't make you eat shit. They did. They use chitlins. That's a shit. Plus, that was one of the punishments. They had one slave shit in another slave's mouth, and then they covered it up so they couldn't spit it out for 4, 5, 6, 7 days. This is what these people did, and they're doing. And you still don't get it? You think they're going to change somehow? The Bible says, can a tiger change his stripes? And now they're going all over the world killing people and fighting and getting people's business in Vietnam and Iraq and all these lies. And now they talking about, oh man, Putin, he's a monster, man. And Hannity saying the other night, man, he's about anybody that kills women and children, right, and invade other people's land, right? And they don't even have the right to live. They should be a ruler. They should have the right to live. What about George Bush? Isn't that exactly what he did? But you was for that. These people are sick. They're sick. Pure and simple. They're just sick. And you sticking around here with them? Walking around with their names? And you understand that? I told you earlier what that's all about. They weren't names. They weren't names. They was brands. Brands. Do you understand that, brothers and sisters? Just like you brand a cow or horse. So if you was owned by James Richardson, right? Then your name was Jamie. Then your name was Jamie Richardson. And if he sold you to Abel Washington, then your name became Jamie Washington. They were brands. They were not names. And you walk around proudly. Oh man, my name is Jackie Richardson. And those names that you have, just tell the last slave master that you belong to. That's what those names represent. That was the last slave master that your family was with before they had so-called freed you. There's no bullshit zone, brothers and sisters. No bullshit zone. No bullshit zone. You need to come out those names. Now, for slave master children, that is their names. That's their names, slave master children. That's their names. Because they skin folk. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to kind of like leave that here. Negrobot. We've been Negrobots the whole time we're here. And now they're getting ready to eradicate you because they got robots and they got cyborgs. Cyborg is going to get rid of, that's why they flirt with nuclear war. Because that's their vision. Because they're at war with it. They're telling you they're at war with the economy. Yeah. Okay, think about this. Oh man, we got global warming, all this stuff. And they say this stuff is crucial, but they're not doing anything about it. And they put it to a vote. So in other words, your house on fire, and you're going to vote whether you're going to put the house fire out or not. You're going to put it out. If that's for real. See? They said the world and everything is on, and we're going to vote about it. See? They're not doing anything about it. In fact, they pollute more than they ever have done before. See? And now they're flirting with nuclear war, which would finish off this biological creation. Because they get at war with it. They've been at it since their creation. So they've steadily putting this cyborg, electronic cyborg idea together. And they're getting very, they may have achieved it by now. Once they achieve it, same thing like they got rid of you in slavery. They didn't need you anymore. Just ask yourself, brothers and sisters. Get your head out of NBA and NFL. Ask yourself some questions. What will happen to black folks here when they go fully automated? What will happen to you? What will happen to you? You see the problems right now because they're putting you in jail left and right, mass incarceration and everything else. What will happen to you when they go fully automated? What will happen to you? And they're very near there right now. So what will happen to you? You think you'll still be here? They won't need you on their jobs. And they tired of imprison you because it costs a lot of money to imprison you. And they got negative population and black population in New York now. In other words, they brought more children. Uh-oh. Excuse me, brothers and sisters, I got a little issue here with my battery. I don't know how that happened. I had a little technical issue, brothers and sisters, resolved. Anyway, we're closing out. Like I've been saying, brothers and sisters, we've been Negrobots the whole time we've been here. But they don't need you anymore. They don't want you anymore. They can't afford you anymore. You have to ask yourself a question. Stop watching NBA, NFL, all that kind of stuff. Ask yourself a question. When they fully automate, forget about going to the next level. That's cyborg, right? Biological side. Just the basic order that you understand. When they automate, fully automate, because that's their goal. They're telling you what's going to happen to you. What's going to happen to you? What are they going to do with you? You don't have no jobs for you. So if they don't give you free money and you have no jobs, right? And they can't abort you fast enough, what will happen to you? Ask yourself that question. Start asking that question. See, what will they do? What will happen to you? You think they're going to just keep you on board? What will happen to you when they fully automate and they have no jobs for you? Because right now, the jobs they did have, they were shipped overseas. They made China strong, a powerhouse. They made India strong, a powerhouse, right? And they give them the job they can't otherwise. They give it to people across the border. So what will happen? And they won't need them anymore either. When they fully automate, remember they're telling you Burger King and McDonald's and all that stuff, they won't need people in them anymore. They won't need people fixing cars anymore, driverless cars. They won't need you anymore for anything. So what will happen to you? You can't get a job. See? They're always going to be, or they're going to transition and they're going to find, no, they're not finding jobs for you. They tell, that's a lie. See? What is are they increasing the jobs at Walmart? You been to Walmart lately? Those type of jobs that you was doing, there won't be no more. So what will happen when they don't need you? When they have nothing for you anymore? They're gonna give you free money so you can slay around and robots are doing everything. You better ask yourself that question. Driverless cars. You already got 18 wheelers right now on the road right now, driverless. They won't need your taxi cab driver to have wireless driverless cars. They won't have when they have what happened to you? You better ask yourself that question, brother and sister. See, the Negro butts, they don't they don't need Negro butts anymore. They don't need Negro butts anymore. That's what we've been. See, Negro butts. See, like Negro, you know, brother and sister. We're gonna leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.